They say the ancient druids could heal the land with a single breath. Imagine standing on a mist-covered hill in ancient Ireland, where the morning air glows with dew and the forest seems to breathe with you. To the Celtic priests, breath was not just survival, it was the whisper of the divine, the living thread that tied humankind to the heartbeat of the earth. They called it Anail Nabitha, the breath of life, and through it, they believed one could summon blessings, health, and inspiration from the unseen world. But what if this ancient power was never lost, only forgotten? What if every anxious sigh, every shallow breath we take in the rush of modern life, quietly steals from us the very magic our ancestors once knew so well? Modern science is now catching up to what the druids already practiced millennia ago, that the breath is the key to harmony, clarity, and healing, not only of body, but of spirit. Today, you are about to rediscover this sacred rhythm. You will learn to breathe as the druids once did, to align your body with nature, your heart with peace, and your spirit with the flow of life itself. Once, every inhale was a prayer. Every exhale, a release into the great rhythm of the world. The Celtic druids understood that nature was not separate from humanity. It was a reflection of it. They lived by the turning of the seasons, by the songs of birds, by the pulse of rivers. They believed that when a person breathed consciously, they were not simply filling their lungs. They were drawing in the soul of the earth. Trees were not mere plants to them. They were sacred beings, exchanging breath with humans in a continuous cycle of life. But as centuries passed, this understanding dimmed. The modern world, built on steel and screens, began to forget the language of wind and leaf. We learned to control, to rush, to separate ourselves from the rhythm that once sustained us. Now, many breathe only enough to survive, not enough to truly live. Shallow, unconscious, hurried breaths have become our norm, disconnecting us from the natural intelligence that still pulses beneath our feet. To the druids, losing touch with nature was losing touch with spirit itself. Breath was the bridge between body and soul, between self and the sacred. And so, to reclaim that bridge, to remember that connection, we must learn again to breathe with the earth, not against it. To understand the Celtic way of breathing is to step into their worldview, one woven from poetry, reverence, and mystery. The druids believed that every element carried spirit, and breath was the divine current linking them all. They spoke of Awen, the sacred breath of inspiration that flowed from the unseen realms into human awareness. When a druid breathed deeply among the trees, they were not just inhaling air, they were receiving Awen, a spark of divine wisdom that brought harmony between the human and the cosmic. In their language, breath was Anail, and it shared its root with Anam, meaning soul. To breathe was to touch the soul directly, to awaken what they called the Anam Kara, the soul friend that dwells within all things. Through the breath, they found communion not only with the divine, but with every creature, every ripple of wind, every whisper of stone. The druids saw life as a trinity of forces: birth, growth, and renewal. Each inhalation mirrored creation. Each pause symbolized life's unfolding. Each exhalation, a graceful surrender to death and rebirth. Their breathing practices followed the sacred triad, the rhythm of life itself. When we align our breath with these ancient patterns, we begin to perceive what they saw. That breath is not merely oxygen, but consciousness made visible, a song sung between the earth and the soul. The modern world has forgotten how to breathe. We live surrounded by noise, digital notifications, deadlines, traffic, and tension. And yet, most of us have never noticed how our breath has changed because of it. The average person now breathes shallowly, high in the chest, as if always preparing to fight or flee. It's a survival breath, not a living one. Our ancient ancestors, especially the druids, would have called this a tragedy, the slow suffocation of the spirit. The druids believed imbalance in breath meant imbalance in life. When our breathing becomes shallow, the heart tightens, the mind races, and the soul drifts from its natural rhythm. This is what so many suffer today: anxiety, fatigue, disconnection, insomnia, and a deep but undefined yearning for peace. We've forgotten that the simplest medicine requires no prescription, no technology, only awareness. Science agrees. Chronic stress triggers the sympathetic nervous system, locking the body in a constant state of tension. We forget the healing rhythm of the parasympathetic system, the realm of rest, digestion, and renewal. The druids, through their sacred breathwork, intuitively lived in that state of harmony, long before laboratories could name it. We are not broken. We are simply breathless. And to heal, we must remember what the druids knew, that to change your breath is to change your world. The beauty of druidic wisdom is that it was never superstition. It was observation. The druids watched the world with deep attention, how leaves trembled in the wind, how the tide moved in rhythm with the moon, how the breath of the land seemed to mirror the breath of the body. They recognized that harmony in nature reflected harmony within the self. Today, modern science is rediscovering what they intuitively knew. That breath is the key to unlocking the body's natural intelligence and spiritual awareness. Neuroscience has revealed that controlled breathing directly influences the vagus nerve, a crucial bridge between body and brain. When we breathe slowly and deeply, this nerve signals the heart to calm, blood pressure to lower, and stress hormones to fade. What the druids achieved through ritual breath, modern researchers now describe as parasympathetic activation, a biological return to peace. Even the druidic belief in Awen, the divine flow of inspiration, finds a parallel in science. Slow, rhythmic breathing increases alpha brainwaves, the same waves associated with creativity, intuition, and spiritual clarity. In that calm, focused state, the mind opens to insight, just as the druids once opened themselves to the whispering of the forest or the murmuring of sacred springs. Spirituality and science, long thought to be at odds, are simply two ways of seeing the same truth. The druids called it Awen. Today, we might call it coherence, a state where heart, mind, and spirit move in unison. In that alignment, the breath becomes a bridge between the physical and the mystical, between what is measurable and what is miraculous. To breathe like a druid, then, is not to choose between faith and fact. It is to experience both, the poetry of spirit and the precision of science, woven together in every inhale. Before you begin the sacred druidic breathing practice, you must first enter the right state of mind, one that honors the stillness of the earth and the intelligence of your own body. The druids believed that every practice began with preparation, not in haste, but in reverence. To breathe with power, you must first remember that you are not mastering the air, you are joining it. Find a place where nature speaks quietly. It might be a forest clearing, a garden, or even a sunlit corner of your room with a single plant nearby. The goal is not to escape your environment, but to recognize its presence. The Druids often began their rituals facing the east, greeting the rising sun as a symbol of renewal. You can do the same. Feel the light on your face, and allow your awareness to expand with each ray that touches your skin. Sit comfortably, spine tall but relaxed. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears, and place your hands gently on your thighs or over your heart. Close your eyes. Sense the earth beneath you. Imagine roots descending from your body into the soil, anchoring you to the ancient strength of the land. The Druids believed this grounding connected them to the wisdom of the ancestors, the stones, and the trees. Now, bring attention to your breath. Don't control it yet. Simply observe. Notice its rhythm. Is it shallow, hurried, uneven? Feel how the air enters and leaves you without judgment. The act of noticing is the first step toward transformation. Before you begin the druidic breathing, set an intention. It can be as simple as, I breathe to reconnect with nature, or I breathe to heal and align. Intention gives direction to energy. Without it, breath is just air. With it, breath becomes prayer. In this state of grounded awareness, you are ready to experience the breathing rhythm that the Druids called the song of life, the breath that moves through all things. Now that your body and spirit are prepared, we begin the practice known as the Three Winds of Awen, a breathing pattern inspired by the Celtic triad, representing inspiration, balance, and renewal. This technique is not about performance. It's about communion. As you follow these steps, imagine that your breath is blending with the living breath of the earth. Sit upright, grounded, and relaxed. Gently close your eyes. Place one hand over your heart and the other just below your navel, symbolizing the union of soul and body. Take a moment to feel both centers rise and fall with each breath. You're about to synchronize with an ancient rhythm. Phase 1. The inhale, the wind of awakening. Breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4. As you inhale, imagine drawing energy from the earth beneath you, through your spine, up into your chest. Visualize golden light rising, filling your heart with warmth. Feel this as the wind of awakening, the first breath of dawn, the spark of Awen that stirs inspiration. Phase 2. The hold, the wind of balance. Gently hold your breath for a count of 4. In this stillness, imagine your inner and outer worlds aligning, your thoughts quieting, your heartbeat steadying. The Druids saw this pause as the meeting place of heaven and earth, where all opposites harmonize. Here, energy gathers and balances before flowing outward. Phase 3. The exhale, the wind of release. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6, longer than the inhale, letting go of tension, noise, and worry. As you breathe out, imagine releasing dark smoke into the wind, returning heaviness to the earth for purification. This is the wind of release, the gentle death before rebirth, the closing of one cycle before another begins. Repeat this triad. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6, for 7 rounds. 7 was sacred to the Druids, symbolizing completion and divine order. With each cycle, feel yourself sinking deeper into peace, as if the forest itself were breathing with you. After your final exhale, remain still. Notice the subtle hum of silence around you, the resonance left behind by your own breath. This is Awen flowing through you, not imagined, but real. The Druids believed that in this moment of calm, Inspiration enters the soul like morning light breaking through mist. Practice this once a day, at sunrise or sunset, when the veil between worlds is thin. Over time, you will find your breath naturally deepening, your heart softening, and your thoughts aligning with a greater rhythm, the rhythm of life itself. Once you have mastered the rhythm of the Three Winds of Awen, the next step is to deepen the experience, to make your breath not just a practice, but a living dialogue with the natural world. The Druids believed that mastery of breath was not achieved through control, but through surrender, allowing the breath to guide the spirit rather than the other way around. Begin by returning to your calm, seated posture. As you settle into the breath, imagine that every inhale is a wave rolling toward the shore, and every exhale is that same wave receding into the sea. The ocean and the breath are one motion, neither forcing nor resisting. Feel this rhythm flow through your entire being, dissolving any separation between yourself and nature. Now, as you breathe, bring your awareness to the world around you. If you are outdoors, listen for the wind moving through leaves, birds calling, or distant water flowing. Breathe in time with these sounds. Let them shape your pace. If you are indoors, visualize these forces vividly. See yourself surrounded by a forest where the trees expand and contract with your breath. Each inhale feeds the world. Each exhale returns it a blessing. The Druids often combined breath with visualization to awaken the Awen, the sacred current of inspiration. You can do this by imagining 3 streams of light flowing into you with every inhalation. 1 silver, 1 gold, 1 green, representing the 3 realms of the Celtic cosmos, the sea, the land, and the sky. As you exhale, see these streams merging into a single brilliant spiral that expands from your heart, radiating gratitude and harmony into the world. Another deepening method is to align your breath with the rhythm of your heartbeat. Place a hand on your chest and feel it pulsing beneath your palm. Let your breath gently match this tempo, inhaling with 2 beats, holding for 1, exhaling for 3. Over time, your heart and lungs begin to move in harmony, creating a resonance that ancient druids called the Song of Life. To seal the practice, end each session with silent gratitude. Whisper softly, "I am the breath of the earth, and the earth breathes through me." Feel that truth echo through your body. This moment of stillness allows the energy you've awakened to settle and root itself deeply. With consistent practice, this deepened form of druidic breathing becomes more than a technique. It becomes a communion. You'll find yourself intuitively pausing to breathe with the wind before a decision, breathing with the trees during a walk, or exhaling gently before speaking words that matter. This is living the way of the druids, not performing rituals apart from life, but breathing them in to every moment. When you practice druidic breathing with sincerity and consistency, transformation begins quietly, first within the body, then within the spirit. The Druids saw the breath as both healer and messenger, and modern science now confirms the depth of its influence. Each inhalation carries life into the blood, feeding every cell with oxygen, while each exhalation releases toxins, emotional tension, and stagnant energy. Yet beyond the physical, the benefits ripple through layers unseen. Physiologically, deep rhythmic breathing activates the vagus nerve and restores parasympathetic balance. This slows the heartbeat, lowers cortisol, and encourages the release of endorphins, the body's natural healers. After just a few weeks, Practitioners often notice improved sleep, digestion, and mental clarity. The body begins to remember its original harmony. The Druids called this ko-shalad, clear seeing, a state where perception is sharpened, not by effort, but by peace. Emotionally, this practice creates space. Many people find themselves releasing old grief, unspoken anger, and quiet fears that have lived in the breath for years. In Celtic spirituality, emotion was never separate from nature. Storms were mirrors for our inner weather. As you breathe deeply, the emotional fog begins to lift, and you find yourself standing in still air, aware, compassionate, unafraid. Spiritually, the benefits deepen even more profoundly. The breath reconnects you to the living consciousness of nature. With time, the boundaries between you and the world blur. Trees seem to shimmer with awareness. Rivers seem to answer your thoughts. This is not imagination. It is awakening. The Druids believed that when you breathe with the earth, you begin to receive her blessings. Synchronicities appear, intuition strengthens, and life begins to flow with unexpected ease. Another result is the attraction of vitality, what ancient Celts called nert, the sacred strength that moves through all beings. You may notice people drawn to your calm energy, animals responding with gentleness, or even physical spaces feeling lighter after your presence. This is the subtle radiance of aligned breath, a living aura of balance. Finally, there is the invisible transformation, a quiet happiness that doesn't depend on circumstance. The Druids taught that true joy is not found in possessions or power, but in anam, the soul's communion with all life. Through the breath, you rediscover this joy. Each inhalation becomes a reminder. I am alive. I am connected. I am part of the great rhythm. And so, the benefits of druidic breathing are not just measurable, they are experiential. The body heals, the heart opens, the mind clears, and the spirit remembers. What begins as a simple breath becomes a return to sacred wholeness. The ancient Celtic gift, hidden in plain sight, waiting within every moment of stillness. The true power of druidic breathing is not in a single session. It's in the way it reshapes your daily rhythm. To live as the Druids did is to weave the sacred into the ordinary, to make every breath an act of reverence. The practice is not meant to stay confined to meditation time. It's meant to flow into your morning routine, your work, your moments of silence, and even your challenges. Begin each day with a few cycles of the Three Winds of Awen. Do it at sunrise if possible, when the air is cool and charged with life. The Druids believed dawn was when the veil between worlds was thinnest, the hour when divine inspiration entered the mortal realm. As you breathe in the golden light of morning, imagine drawing in the blessings of the coming day. Let your first exhale carry gratitude into the air, like a prayer released to the wind. During your day, pause whenever you feel tension, fatigue, or emotional turbulence. A single deep breath, performed with awareness, can realign your energy. The Druids used these moments not as escapes, but as realignments, tiny rituals of remembrance. Breathe consciously before speaking in a meeting, before entering your home, or before making decisions. Each breath is a moment to listen inwardly, to reconnect with that ancient calm beneath the noise of life. Incorporate the breath into your connection with nature. When walking outside, match your steps to your breathing. 4 steps in, 4 steps out. Feel your body syncing with the rhythm of the earth beneath you. If you live near trees, stand among them. Breathe deeply and imagine exchanging energy with them. You exhale what they need. They exhale what you need. This mutual exchange is the living embodiment of druidic harmony. Before sleep, perform 3 gentle cycles of the breath, exhaling longer than you inhale. Visualize the stress of the day dissolving into mist. The Druids viewed sleep not as absence, but as a sacred journey, a return to the otherworld where wisdom is renewed. By entering sleep through calm breath, you enter that space consciously, ready to receive dreams as guidance. In time, this practice transforms your entire way of living. You become slower, but not inactionable, rather deeply intentional. You begin to notice subtleties others miss. The scent of rain, the shift of light through clouds, the subtle emotions in others' voices. Your life gains rhythm and depth, like a poem sung by the land itself. Druidic breathing is not about perfection. It is about relationship. Every breath becomes a conversation between your body and the world, your mind and your spirit. When you breathe in harmony with life, you no longer chase peace. You become it. To live as a modern druid is not to wear robes or chant in ancient forests, though you may, if your heart calls you to. It is, above all, to live awake. The druids of old were not simply mystics. They were observers, poets, healers, and custodians of balance. Their wisdom flowed from their ability to see spirit in every stone, every gust of wind, every breath of life. When you adopt their way of breathing, you begin to see as they saw. You begin to remember. The modern druid's life is a quiet revolution against hurry. It's choosing to walk instead of rush, to listen instead of react, to breathe instead of panic. It is an act of rebellion in a world addicted to speed. The simple act of conscious breathing returns sovereignty to your inner world. The Druids called this sovereignty Ard Riogacht Anima, the kingship of the soul. You become the ruler of your inner realm, calm even amidst chaos. In this way, Druidic breathing becomes a lifestyle, not a ritual. You wake each morning aware of your connection to all living things. You breathe gratitude into your coffee, patience into your commute, and compassion into your interactions. You become the calm in every storm, a mirror of nature's steadiness. The Druids taught that the elements, earth, air, fire, and water, exist not only in the world, but within us. Through breath, you balance these forces. Earth is the body that grounds you. Air is the breath that sustains you. Fire is the spirit that inspires you. Water is the emotion that moves through you. When breath flows freely, all elements harmonize, and life becomes poetry in motion. Over time, this practice will change how you relate to the world. You'll notice synchronicities, those small miracles that seem to guide you along invisible paths. You'll sense when to act and when to wait, when to speak and when to remain silent. You'll find your creativity flowering effortlessly, because Awen, that current of divine inspiration, flows through a calm and open heart. Living as a modern druid doesn't mean retreating from the modern world. It means transforming it from within. Every breath you take consciously is a ripple of harmony moving outward, touching others without a word. You become a living bridge between the ancient and the new, between spirit and science, between humanity and the wild. So, let your breath remind you, you are not a visitor here. You are part of the living earth, ancient and eternal. To live as a druid is to walk through life with reverence, to let your breath carry blessings wherever you go, and to honor each moment as sacred. The forest, the sea, the wind. They are not outside you. They are breathing through you right now. If you've come this far, take one more deep, deliberate breath. Feel the air enter your lungs. Feel your heart expand. Feel the stillness beneath the sound of your thoughts. You've just retraced the steps of the ancient druids, the guardians of harmony, who knew that every breath is a bridge between the visible and the invisible. And now, you too carry that wisdom. From this moment forward, your breath is no longer ordinary. It is sacred. It is the whisper of the earth moving through you, the song of your ancestors echoing in your chest. With every inhale, you draw in life. With every exhale, you give thanks. This is the rhythm of healing, the rhythm of connection, the rhythm of your true nature. Let this practice stay with you. Each morning, breathe with the rising sun. Each evening, breathe with the stars. When life overwhelms you, return to this simple truth. The breath is your compass, your healer, your teacher. It will always lead you home. If this journey resonated with you, share it with others who are ready to remember. Subscribe, stay connected, and become part of this growing circle of modern druids. People awakening to nature, to wisdom, and to their own inner power. Together, we can breathe a new harmony into the world. So now, take one final breath, and know that the wind, the earth, and the sacred spirit of Awen breathe with you.